We kick it off this half an hour, though, with Wikileaks. It continues to target the Clinton campaign. A new batch of emails released yesterday revealed that Hillary Clinton herself was at the center of negotiating a $12 million commitment from King Mohammed VI of Morocco. In an email exchange between Clinton's aide, Huma Abedin, and top advisor Robbie Mook. Abedin writes, "This was HRC's idea. Our office approached the Moroccans, and they 100% believe they are doing this at her request. The king has personally committed approximately $12 million, both for the endowment and to support the meeting." That's not all. After releasing the emails yesterday, WikiLeaks tweets out, "We have a surprise in store for Tim Kaine and Donna Brazile." Things are not looking good. Joining us right now is defense attorney and author of the book, Electile Dysfunction. Alan Dershowitz is here. Alan, good to see you.
Good. Thank you so much. This just proves how dysfunctional our election is.
Yeah.
All the negatives are coming out against both candidates, and this is going to be the first election in modern history where most Americans are going to be voting against a candidate, not for a candidate.
When you see an email that is clear that Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, is actually in the middle of a deal where the Moroccans are going to put money into the Clinton Foundation, how do you explain that? I mean, this is what has been coming out of the Trump campaign, and everyone talking about this pay-to-play scheme. It's right there in this email.
Well, tragically, pay-to-play is rampant all over the United States, indeed all over the world, but Hillary has some explaining to do, and her assistants have some explaining to do. Look, I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton, but I'm not suggesting that on the emails and WikiLeaks she's perfect. Now, you know, I used to represent Assange, and I'm a little angry at this point at the fact that he, who started out as a journalist, now seems to be a political operative trying to put his thumb on the scale. If he had produced emails on both sides that were devastating and critical, that would be one thing. But for him to be one-sidedly producing these emails seems to raise some questions.
Yeah, but did you hear in the debates when she said she'd be very happy to talk about the Clinton Foundation? Man, I don't think I've laughed that hard in a long time.
Well, she was happy to try to control the narrative, to say, let me tell you how much good it does and how charitable it is.
Of course, they want to hear about how it's, you know, it's a slush fund.
Well, Alan, I'm confused by your comment that he should be revealing emails on both sides.
If there are.
Exactly, if there are. I mean, these, we don't know, maybe there are, but these are factual emails, and I think it's a good thing that we have people doing something so that we know who our candidates actually are. I'm with you. I wish this had happened
although it's hacking, and it's, quite frankly, it's
not happy about the hacking.
I mean, but they're out there, and to your point, the Clinton strategy has been, you said that they need to answer for them, but it's to not even acknowledge that they're legitimate or real.
No, I think they have to answer. Look, it's fair to say that we shouldn't be basing elections on stolen material. It's ironic because Republicans are the ones who wanted to put Assange in jail and Snowden in jail and all the folks who were involved in leaks, and now they're taking advantage. I don't blame them. I understand that. But we should not want to be encouraging election by Russian-oriented leaks. But as you say, if the information is out there, you can't ignore it.
It's like bittersweet. You know, you want to make sure that we know this stuff. And when you see it in black and white, you feel, okay, well, that's what I thought, and now I have evidence of it. But on the other hand, they were hacked, and you just... I don't know.
And you can imagine hacking that was going beyond politics into national security areas like Snowden. You know, America is divided on Snowden. My own view is he's a criminal and has to pay a consequence for that because he stole material. There's a difference between the person who steals it and the person who publishes it. The New York Times published the Pentagon Papers.
Right.
That was the right thing to do. But Dan Ellsberg stole them. That was not the right thing to do.
Well, that's a really good point with the Pentagon Papers, actually. But the fact is now it's out there.
It's out there.
And that's it.
It's kind of like if you know, maybe you go through your boyfriend's phone and you find out that he's cheating on you. Were you supposed to go through his phone? No, but now you know, and you got to do something about it. He's got to answer some questions.
Yeah, it's called busted.
And these are things that we need to know. I mean, the government reports to us. These people are accountable to us. And we have completely lost faith that we can trust the things that they say. So we need somehow to get the information to know that our gut instincts are right.
And if there were a better candidate on the Republican side, this would be the focal today. But now we're talking about how a guy goes to a Catholic event and accuses his opponent of being anti-Catholic. It's like
because of the WikiLeaks.
Of course, but it's like going to the Anti-Defamation League and accusing somebody of being an anti-Semite and expecting expecting that people will laugh
He could
at
have
it.
made a related joke instead of just saying Hillary Clinton hates Catholics.
I agree. Probably to go down such a serious vitriolic road was probably not appropriate for the dinner, but it was in the WikiLeaks. And here's another bombshell. I want to get your take on this, Alan, because yesterday we learned this. President Obama appears to have known that Hillary Clinton was using a private email server. Jennifer Palmieri, Director of Communications for the 2016 Hillary Clinton presidential campaign, suggested in an email that Obama email Hillary on her server regularly. Let's remember that in 2015, during an interview on 60 Minutes, Obama said he didn't know about the server. Watch this.
Did you know about Hillary Clinton's use of private email server?
No.
While she was Secretary of State?
No.
That's called busted.
Well, it looks very bad for President Obama. It actually will be spun by the Hillary people positively. They'll say, see, everybody knew this. This was common knowledge. Nobody stopped
They'll throw President Obama under the bus.
Well, they won't do that, but I think there'll be some spinners who will say, this is business as usual. Look, the Republicans did it when they were Secretary of State.
Well, nobody had a private email server. Nobody had a private email server.
No, but they had private emails.
Yeah, but the issue is the private email server in her
And this is why people pay so much attention and why we have all this hacking, because we know that the things that they say to us we cannot trust. And that's critical for a republic to work. We need to believe that there's some modicum
Well, we
of
also
truth.
need to believe in the results of an election.
Yeah.
And, you know who's going to be the hero of this thing? Pence is going to be the hero.
Why?
Because on the day after the election, if Trump gets up there and says, I want my people to go out there and this was not a legitimate election, Pence is going to get up there and say, no, I am disassociating myself from the president. The election's over. This was a fair election. We have to go on. We have to accept the result of the election. He's going to be the hero because everybody's going to want to disassociate themselves from Trump's claim about a fraudulent election.
Unless he wins.
Unless it's really close. Unless
Unless
it's very close in a state like Florida or Ohio.
No matter what he says, I don't think some of his supporters are going to let it go.
Or if we
Throwing that out there.
Well, and then we start talking about 2020 and what happens with those supporters in the ensuing 4 years.
Right.
I mean, that's already a discussion some people
But you
are
know, I can tell
having.
you this may be inside story, but I was one of the lawyers in Bush versus Gore, and we were, of course, very unhappy about the way the votes were in Palm Beach County because the machine had put the holes on the wrong side. Gore didn't want to challenge that. He didn't want to challenge that. He wanted a recount, but he didn't want to challenge the way votes were cast. And so to compare what Gore did to what Trump is now saying he would do, you know, there's an automatic recount under Florida law. And remember, the case is called Bush versus Gore, not Gore versus Bush. And so both sides were suing each other. It wasn't just that Gore was a sore loser. And certainly he accepted the results in the end.
That's the distinction, is that Trump has said this before the actual vote, before Election Day, versus as a result of the actual votes that were cast.
We'll see. Alan, good to see you.
Likewise. Thank you so
Alan
much.
Dershowitz there. Pick up the ebook, Electile Dysfunction. We'll see you soon, sir.
Thank
Coming
you.
up, Target spices up its apparel with a new line from Victoria Beckham. More on the partnership next.